about, some of you may not have played golf, but it should be, I don't play much either. It's a fairly simple analogy though. If I were to turn, if I had a club and I was hitting the ball like this, swinging all the way through like that, it has a much better chance of going straight than if I make contact and turn the club like that, right? Or like this, whatever it might be, okay? So think of it like that. Now, what I want you to do now, we're not going to worry about backing up, taking our steps. I just want you standing right here, turning that foot and you should, if you do this right, you should feel a little bit of stretch in your hip, okay? So my foot's open at a 90 degree angle, just kind of about 2 feet away from me. Now I'm turning that foot to expose that hard part of my foot. I just want you to feel that position for a second, and then once you get comfortable with it, do a nice easy swing, keeping that foot at the same position, okay? This is something you'll have to do a lot of reps of to get used to it. If you don't already do it, that's okay. I had to do the exact same thing. Part is our skip. This is probably the most important factor, other than your actual contact and leg swing, in determining the power that you generate with your kick. So if I don't skip, and I see this all the time, it's a very, very common issue. If I'm here and I go in nice and smooth and I plant and I kick, but I just stay on this plant foot, then I lost all the power that I generated from my approach. Alright, so if you see I'm here, kick, like that, I didn't get everything through the ball that I could have. Alright, so we need to be skipping forward. The skip should not be up. It should not be this. Now you won't go perfectly straight forward, but the goal is to go forward, because we want all that power going forward so we can get the ball forward. Now I talked about not going up. It's very important. A lot of kids will do this right away where they kick and then go up like that. That's what punters do, because they're more concerned with getting the ball up in the air. That's not what we're concerned about as much. Obviously that's important, but we want to be driving forward. So if you're doing the skip right, it should maybe come off the ground an inch, your foot. If you're here, kicking, that maybe came off an inch or so, and that's all it needs to be. Blake, why don't you go ahead and kick one? You guys watch Blake, how he comes through, makes contact and skips, and then his motion takes him forward, barely got off the ground, and that's going to make sure that ball goes as far forward as possible. Alright, so go ahead and work on that. You guys back up on your steps again, get in your stance, work on that approach, and then the skip phase. That one, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, looks pretty good. Go ahead and stop, guys. This is the last part of our kick, and that's the balance. So something you can always think about in your head is kick, skip, balance. I'll probably say that a couple times today. It's a good way to think of it when we're working on those last couple phases. So now we're putting it all into one. Okay, I'm planting with that swing through here, kicking, some of you guys, I see this a lot. There's nothing real wrong with it as long as you're balanced. Clark, not to pick on you, I just saw you do this, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. Some guys will kick and keep their leg up there and balance that way. That's fine. What I generally teach, just because I've done it and it's worked with a lot of kids I've coached, is you're here, you kick, skip, and then balance on that kicking leg. So Jordan, Zach, it'll be your left leg, but on that kicking leg, I'm balanced here. And the reason this is important, it'll show you, it's a good indicator of whether or not something is going wrong somewhere else in the kick. So if I kick and I can't balance, chances are that meant somewhere along the line, whether it was my approach or my swing or the skip, I was out of control or off balance. So if I kick, skip, and I have to pull this way, same thing, I'm not balanced. Or if I kick, skip, and I have to fall forward, I'm off balance. Alright, so what I want to see you guys do now, this is the whole kick now, so you're taking your steps. We're going to stance, approach, everything's coming into one now. I'm kick, skipping, balancing on that kicking leg. So that balance, it should be pretty much, the weight should be all the way on your, well, most of it should be on your right leg or your kicking leg. Some of it will be on this back leg. And then hold that for 3 seconds. If you can't do it, then that's when you gotta tell yourself, okay, if I'm not balancing on this leg, something went wrong somewhere. Okay, so that's why I want you guys to concentrate on that right now. Kick, skip, balance on that kicking leg, hold for a 3-second count, and then reset. All right, go ahead.